So in today's video, I wanted to talk a little bit about practice and, setting goals and how you can set goals and practice so that you achieve your goals in your guitar playing. Because if there's one thing I talk about with almost every single student I have, it's this idea of structuring your practice time and how to practice effectively. And maybe, they've felt like they haven't made a lot of progress in the last little bit, and we look at kind of how, why, and what we can do about it. And this is a very basic principle and that has worked really, really well for me. This is something that will apply mostly to intermediate and advanced players, but again, I think there's definitely some crossover for beginners as well. And so this is the basis of my practice principle, and that is that you choose 3 things about your playing in particular, and you pick 3 months. So today I'm filming this on March 18th. You can literally check in and say June 18th, I want to have this, this, and this. This, and this, because we're only doing 3. And that's awesome. For me, I usually use the month as kind of like a general guidepost. So I know that it's about the middle of March. By about the middle of June, I want to be doing this. And the way that I like to hone in on these 3 things is they can be anything. So some examples might be, I want to get better at putting in some upper structure arpeggios or something in my playing. I want to be comping a little bit better or playing chords for someone else's solo. I want to be a little bit more flexible. I feel like I'm using all the same tricks. And then the third one is maybe I really just want to work on playing more tunes and having a more solid sense of time. And this is the thing that's beautiful about picking your 3 things, is like those, they don't all have to be related. Like none of those, except for maybe time, is connected to the comping and to the soloing. Those aren't super related things, which is great. It gives me some kind of breadth to practice. And the way that I go about doing this is then you go, okay, I have 3 months to work on this. Where is the first kind of logical step to come in? So if I want to be working on that arpeggio sound, the way that I would look at it is, okay, well maybe say that's in my head, that's something like this. All of that working over so here, if I put a C major 7, all of that fits. That kind of idea. I'm going to practice that kind of stuff over major chords, minor chords, dominant chords, diminished chords, and I'm going to do that in all 12 keys. And maybe that's my first week to 2 weeks to 3 weeks on this. And the goal is you're working towards this goal, but you change the exercises you're doing as you see fit, because we're trying to work these through. So once I'm comfortable with the actual idea of that, then I would say play a tune I know where there's maybe a bar or 2 of a major chord, and see if I could actually fit that in and play. Then if it's over a minor chord, I got a little bit of a flub there, but I'm thinking out loud and playing out loud here. But I would go through and I would try to apply it in real time. And this is the goal, is you have your 3 kind of goalposts. It's not necessarily like you're married to an exercise. You can be married to an exercise for that whole 3 months. But my basic goal is you want to pick 3 things, and you're going to commit to chasing those down. And they can be using different exercises. You don't have to do the same thing every day. You don't have to do the same whatever. But I would say every time I pick up the guitar, I want to work towards at least 2 of my 3-month kind of goals. And a lot of the time, these goals will come up from your actual experience playing. Like say that comping example, maybe it's because I went to a jam session and I felt like I was just playing the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. Or it felt like I wasn't really interacting, or it felt like, the saxophone player wanted me to do some kind of stuff and I wasn't catching it. Whatever it could be. That could come up, and then you work on it. And again, you don't need to be fixed to the same exercises every single day. You don't need to even do the same exercises just for the 3-month period. But you just want to do things that logically work you in that direction. And the key thing about picking these 3 things, you can practice other things, and of course you can play the guitar. Sometimes I feel like my students can go through phases where they become practice robots, where they're obsessed with, getting a little bit better, but they forget to actually play the damn thing and have a good time, which is hopefully why we're all doing this, is to be able to have fun playing music. But when you're practicing, I find, especially in today's day and age with YouTube, where, and again, I'm kind of contributing to the problem here, but there's a million things that you can practice. We don't really devote ourselves to kind of going in one direction, and then we get kind of okay at a bunch of really sporadic things rather than really good at things. So this is something that I've been doing since finishing my degree, is just I can work on whatever I need to do. And again, as a professional musician, I have to learn music for recording sessions. I have to learn music for gigs. I have to do all of these things. But so that gives me a lot of other breadth and stuff that I can work on. But I always have these kind of goalposts that I'm working towards, and I do them in 3-month sections. And then at the end of those 3 months, if you totally nailed it and you achieved what you wanted to achieve, of course, pat yourself on the back. That's awesome. But what I find usually happens is, in chasing down these 3 things in a little bit more detail, you will find either the next step deeper to go, and then that's your next 3-month project in that category, or you find something else that you're like, oh, I'm going to do that when I finish working on this. But I find that this really gives you an ability to focus in on 3 things, and you work on them again for 3 months, which isn't crazy long in the grand scheme of things. But having this kind of focus in on 3 things at a time, and again, if you can't get to all 3 of them in a day practicing, you just want to work your way around and make sure that you are getting to them eventually. But this is something that I find is huge for me and has been for my students as well. It's just really picking these things that you want to work towards. You work on them for 3 months, and then you reassess and see where you were. It's really, really awesome for going deep rather than just, skimming a surface level understanding of something that you can't really deploy in an instant anyways. But so that's just some thoughts on restructuring your practice routine so that you get a little bit more out of it, hopefully. I don't know if it'll work for you. I hope some of these words resonated with you, because again, they have really worked for me over the last couple of years. But I really hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, I'd really appreciate it if you could like and subscribe. If you want to support me or the channel, there's a link down below where you can join my Patreon and get weeks early access to videos and help support me putting out these free educational videos. There's also links down there to purchase my video course or my book. I'd absolutely love for you to check out some educational content there. If you want to take a guitar lesson with me, there's a link down below to get in touch with me. I'd love to work with you on whatever's troubling you on the guitar. And last but not least, I've got new videos coming out every week, so I hope I'll see you in the next one. And until I do, I'll wish you a wonderful day, and I hope you have some fun playing the guitar, and I wish you the best of luck practicing.